welcome to Singapore Book Fair 2021. And we are at Good Read Live. If not books, then what? Yes, then what? Because today we are at Singapore Book Fair. Of course, we are here to introduce you guys some really good books. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Ngee Ann, and I'm the digital content specialist from ZB Schools. And today we have Mr. Sundar with us from Fables. Hello, Mr. Sundar.
Hello, good morning.
Woohoo, Mr. Sundar. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Good morning or good day.
Just to remind all, before we start, you can actually see the link at our comment and you can click in because we have 100 copies of $5 voucher to give away from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So that's only 100 pieces. So while we are having this interview, do get your fingers started and click in the link and you will get a $5 vouchers because later Mr. Sundar will have a lot of good offers to you guys, right, Mr. Sundar?
Yes, we will. We will.
So first of all, Mr. Sundar, I know for Fables, the bookshop is a very, very special place. Maybe you can introduce that to us.
Sure. We're home-based. We've been home-based for more than 20 years, right? And I have a big home, so the first level is like a bookshop. And my mom is a retired teacher, so she always gives very good recommendations and advice for parents and children who are looking for good books. And that is one of the unique things about us and our bookshop is that you actually get a lot of expert recommendations and expert advice on reading and also on the selection of good books.
So the place that you are having the live with us, where are you now? You are at your garden, right?
Yes, I'm in my garden. It's on the 9th floor, and it's a beautiful garden. You can actually take a quick look at it.
Wow.
And it gives me a lot of peace, a lot of joy, and a lot of happiness just relaxing in the garden. And the parents and children who visit our bookshop actually also enjoy seeing the birds. It's full of birds and different types of birds that actually either visit, nest here, or roost here. We have birds that roost here daily in the evening.
Before the pandemic, the readers who come to your bookstore will always grab one book and enjoy the spot at your garden and read some books, and you may give them some comments, right?
Yes, it's usually the recommendations from my mom that as a retired teacher that really makes a difference for a lot of these children, because we try to promote books that are rich in vocabulary and also books that are rich in values like perseverance, endurance, friendship, loyalty, those sorts of character values that will see you through life, as much as reading, which is a great companion to have all your life. And reading actually allows you, like your chopsticks, like your fingers, like your fork and spoon, to pick up bits of science or maths or whatever you like, right? So that you can be who you want to be in this life. You can become an astronaut, you can become a lawyer, a doctor, a journalist. At least if you can read, then the whole world is your oyster. And you can decide what you have a passion for, what you have an ikigai for, and what for you makes sense and has meaning, and then pursue that with your passion for the rest of your long and busy life.
And I think something that is very special about Mr. Sundar is that before he get into this business, he's actually a corporate lawyer. Wow.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And an entrepreneur selling books. So that's really a big jump. So maybe you can share with us how do you get into this industry?
Well, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. It allows you to do a lot more, and the world really becomes your oyster, because as a businessman you could be anywhere. And when we started this business more than 20 years ago, we did it I did it from my home, because that was the uh, best way to do it if you have limited funds, if you're a startup. And it worked out really well for us, because our costs were low, so we could give the readers a good price. If you look at our books, they're all about 30 to 40% less than the retail price. And we are able to do all that because we are home-based, because our costs are low. And in the pandemic, that provided us with an added layer of insulation against the downsides of the pandemic. And with a very good government here that really looked after all of us in 2020, we made it through 2020, thank God. And we're still here. We're still offering you the latest titles at the best prices. Okay. And we're hoping that we make a difference in your children's lives, and that they read and they become who they want to be in life.
And I think one very important thing is going online, right? Because during this pandemic period, people may not be able to visit your bookshop. So how does Fables cope with this pandemic? And is it a good thing that actually you guys have already gone online?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And actually the virtual marketplace is as important as the physical marketplace, because both are real. In terms of dollars and cents, both are real, and you really need to be there. We're a bit of a tech dinosaur, if you like. So we thank our friends at events who initially made us have a Facebook page for Fables called Fables Pte Ltd. We did that after a lot of encouragement, and it worked out really well, because what it did was it helped online advertising for an offline event, for an actual physical event like the Singapore Book Fair. But by advertising online on our Facebook page, and then having that page connected to the organizers page and other pages, it just gave us incredible publicity that we would not have otherwise had. And then SPH had also said to us over the years, what about your website? You're our largest exhibitor in 2018, and what about your website? So we did get our website going. We pointed it to Carousel, because for small companies, your own website will have very limited traffic. But if you could link it up, connect it to one of those e-commerce portals like Carousel or Shopee or Lazada or whatever, right? Amazon, you can actually reach a much larger audience, a virtual audience. And if you have products, good quality products, if you have things at the right price, you'll never look back, right? And you can always fine tune it. You can make it better as you go along, but you need to get started, and that's what we did. Fortunately, thanks to all of the good people who told us to get online, many of my businessman friends, many of the event organizers, and even SPH, Chinese Media Group, CMG, who would say, why don't you have your website up and running? And we pointed it to Carousel because we could leapfrog that whole process, because we started late. There were new technologies, new giant e-commerce platforms, and it worked really well for us. And in the pandemic, when there was the circuit breaker, we actually saw an increase in online sales, a significant increase.
That's very encouraging for all of us. And
yeah.
I think Mr. Sundar and Singapore Book Fair have a very, very nice relationship. You guys have been a very strong supporter of Singapore Book Fair and always keep some very special offer just for us. So
yes,
maybe you can later on, Mr. Sundar will mention some of the very nice offer just for the readers for Singapore Book Fair. But first of all, because we are talking about books, Mr. Sundar, maybe you can introduce us some of the good titles, good books that can recommend for our audience.
Okay. First, I'd like to start off with some of the latest children's books. And so for this event, we have the latest edition of the Story Treehouse, and it's an excellent book for young readers. It's full of humor, and yet it's also rich in vocabulary, and it's something you'll enjoy during the school holidays. Okay. And we also have these ones, which are perennial favorites. This is the latest Tia Stilton. Okay. And it's available at the Singapore Book Fair. And it's at a great price also. It's $17. And so is this one, Out of Time, also a Geronimo Stilton special edition. So those special edition titles are available at a very special price, and for the Singapore Book Fair. We've also got, because we do sell best-selling titles for adults, we do have some really, really good books for adult readers. Okay, so please check out our website, www.fables.com.sg. We have really lovely things for best-selling titles for adults too. This is one of them, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's all about what would you do if you had a second chance and you could go back in time, and who would you like to meet? What would you like to say? How would you like to do something over? We all would, right? And so this is a very meaningful book, but as the title says, you've got to do it before the coffee gets cold. And Mitch Album, this is a lovely story about families, about bonding. It doesn't matter if you're adopted. It doesn't matter if it's for only a short time because you have a terminal illness. It's all about love. It's all about loss. It's all about family relationships. Excellent book from Mitch Album called Finding Chica. Okay. Also available for all our readers at the Singapore Book Fair. And one last special title, because Eric Carle passed away recently. So we have The Very Hungry Caterpillar, okay? And it's a special limited edition board book. It's a big size board book, and it's available exclusively at the Singapore Book Fair for our readers.
Wow, so that's a lot of nice books titles. So can I have the URL here? URL.
Yes.
and we have a special promo code just for
Yes,
our
we do.
Singapore Book Fair readers.
Yes, it's www.fables.com.sg, and the promo code is FAB SPF 2021.
Yes, so just now Mr. Sundar said, do this before the coffee gets cold, right?
Yes, do this before the coffee gets cold.
So out of all these titles, Mr. Sundar, which is your favorite book?
Oh, my favorite title, if I'm being very honest, is actually The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Wow!
I love this title because it's a story of hope. We all start life in whatever we do, even as a child, or when we start our first job as an intern, or when you get married and you're a young couple. Everybody starts out, and you feel like a caterpillar. You're getting used to things, right? And you're going to make lots of mistakes and all sorts of things. And as you go along, you mature. You become a cocoon, and then finally you become a beautiful butterfly. And so you can be somebody that is very, very different from what you started, right? It gives you hope. It's a story of hope. It's a story of going through changes to be who you can be, right? And I think it gives all of us a lot of hope, whether we're young or not so young,
So are you a very beautiful butterfly now in this book industry?
I hope so.
So yeah, been in this book industry for over 20 years. Maybe you can share with us some of the challenges that you have and what keeps you going, what motivates you.
I think what really motivates me is enabling children to read. Nothing, for me, the most important thing is the smile at the end of the day on a young child's face when they've got a book that they really want to read, or they just, that look on their face that tells you that book is a wonderful book for them and they love it. And that's what keeps us going. It's the passion. Brought up in a home where everybody loves to read. My parents both were educators, and so we love reading. I myself, obviously, as a lawyer, read a lot of books, and I think it's a great companion that you can have for the rest of your life, right? And so it's to encourage children to read so that they too can see a world that's much larger than where they are. Then it's much larger than where they're sitting at the moment, or standing at the moment, or lying down at the moment. They can look at a world that is really their oyster. And if you can read, you can pursue your passion. With a lot of encouragement from parents and teachers, they can be who they want to be. And hard work, I think in everything you need a lot of hard work as well, but you really need the passion too to make it happen, right? And we have lots of challenges, yeah, sure, because in any business you have challenges, and we have to keep looking at the prices to be competitive. We have to make sure we put the latest titles on the table because people want to read what's new, what's happening now, what's the latest, and those are called new releases. And we make sure that we get those titles out there. And in the pandemic, we had to work with supply lines that were disrupted several times. And even right now, some supply lines are still going through disruptions. And we've had to overcome those challenges to make it happen, and to make it happen at a reasonable price so that people could still enjoy reading good books at good prices. At the best price that we can give them. Yes.
You have become more digital savvy, right? Because I understand that you manage your own carousel bookstore all by yourself.
Yeah, we did have a little bit of help initially from interns, right? To put in the bulk of the titles, because we have more than 800 titles on the carousel site. But I keep adding the new titles so for the last 3 years after the initial setup, all the titles after that, I've done them. I do them regularly. And it's actually very easy now because, 20 years ago, when you would do a website, it was completely crazy. You had something called HTML coding, and it was just really so awful. But now it's all changed. Technology changes so quickly that you just have to drag it and drop it, or just copy and paste, and all sorts of those sorts of incredible things happen now. So they make it very, very easy. And computers themselves are not just your iPhone or your phone, or your smartphone, but your computer, your laptop is also a touch screen. So it's very easy to get this done. And my advice to anyone who isn't in the digital space is please get started, because the virtual marketplace is a real marketplace. And it made a difference for us. And I have friends to thank for, many friends to thank for motivating us to get online. Never look back from the time we pointed our website page, okay, to the carousel page, to our carousel page. And it's such a beautiful link up. Of course, as the business evolves and gets better, you may want to have your own page and all that. We'll look at that in the future. But for now, we're very happy with what we have.
And I think what Mr. Sundar has mentioned, technology actually make reading more accessible and also bring us together, because during this pandemic, we actually have our Singapore Book Fair online.
Yes, Yes, and I have to really thank CMG for that last year, because last year was really crazy. It was the first time all this was happening. We had no idea what to do, but CMG had a virtual Singapore Book Fair 2020, and that really got everything going. So for SPF 2021, we're all experts, right? Yeah.
I wouldn't say expert, but we managed to figure out how to do it and managed to figure out how to give everyone more deals.
Yes, and how to make it accessible, like you said, okay, for the readers, for our loyal readership, the visitors that we have are very, very loyal, to somehow give them meaningful access to purchase just the books they want, all the books that they would really, really like to purchase from the physical event, to do that as much as possible online.
Yeah. Because of this digitalization, people may ask, because they are reading books online, then why do we need to buy books? So can you share with us what is so magical about books, hard copy books, and why do you still love it so much?
I think because, when you are assimilating information, it's very different when you are looking at something which is really a short attention span thing, right? And that's what scrolling is all about, and viewing things online. But when you've actually got the book in your hands and you can turn the pages forwards, backwards, you can assimilate that information in a much more meaningful way and for a much longer period of time. It goes into your memory, it helps you, and it makes it not just educational, but really, really meaningful. As you digest this information, you get much more time to digest it, to actually look at something that you really wanted to look at in a lot more detail than you do in a cursory fashion when you are scrolling down something. And so all the research, all the analysis of reading point to the fact that there's nothing quite like reading a physical book. And so even with the home-based learning, the HBL and the Ministry of Education's, they've got this default option because of the pandemic. They're still telling you very, very frankly and openly that it's not the best, but it's what they have at the moment. But it's going to put you back unless you actually have face-to-face sessions in school, and also when you actually read a book in your hand, and you actually have that face-to-face supervision with the parent or the teacher that helps you through that reading. Because if you're really going to assimilate all that knowledge, if you're going to really get your vocabulary going, you need to understand or comprehend what you're reading. And that's not going to come easily from turning the pages online. You're going to need the physical book, and you're going to need the supervision, right, of parents and good teachers, good parents and good teachers to help you understand what you're reading and to be who you want to be once you've discovered what you really want to be. And that takes a bit of time, but at least once you start reading, you're getting started in that direction.
Reading is really a good way for parents and children to bond, right?
Yes, it is. For younger children, especially, it's a great way. It's also a great way for teachers and children in school to bond as they go through a book and they enjoy the humorous parts of the book together, and they find meaning in the book. So reading together at all levels has a real impact. And like you said, for bonding with parents, there's nothing better than reading something together and having a good laugh and looking out for the moral of the story, in a fairy tale. And those sorts of moments you cannot get online, I'm afraid.
So I think Mr. Sundar have pointed out a very good point, and how to bond during this home-based learning and this pandemic time is to buy books, right? So Mr. Sundar, please share with us more about the promo that you have. Understand that you have a few very cute design bags.
Yes, we do. we have lots of nice things for the Singapore Book Fair. We've really found that it's such a wonderful event for us, and we are thankful and grateful to the organizers and also to all our visitors over the years. And we always use this event to share and give back something to all of you every year, and also at Christmas time. And so this is what we're giving away this year at a better price. So you've got these fairy tales, and you could have 5 of these books. And you get them for $40, a bag of 5 books, and you've got different bags to choose from. Okay, so you can go online and have a look at all the different bags. I believe we have 7 or 8 different bags of 5 books to choose from. And in each of those 5 books, just so you know, the illustrations are different because they have different illustrators illustrating each title. So that's an added attraction of those books, which also have a little bit of glitter on them, which attracts younger children. But not to leave out the older children, we have the Geronimo Stilton titles, all the paperback titles for Geronimo Stilton, and also for Thea Stilton are $7 each, only at the Singapore Book Fair. Okay, so all the Thea Stilton titles, paperback titles, and all the Geronimo Stilton paperback titles are $7 each at the Singapore Book Fair. Please remember to let us have the promo code Fables SBF 2021, FAB SBF 2021. I'll say that again, FAB SBF 2021. And we've also got all the Diary of a Wimpy Kid paperback titles and all of the Doc Diary paperback titles at $8 each. So this is about half the retail price, and it's while stocks last for the Singapore Book Fair 2021, exclusively for the Singapore Book Fair 2021. Please remember to quote the promo code FABSBF 2021. Thank you.
Invite Mr. Sundar. That's also one very special book that you mentioned just now, the Caterpillar book. Maybe you can show the audience one more time and let them know about this promotion for this.
This is a board book. Okay, it's not a paperback. It's actually a board book. Younger readers and parents will enjoy reading it together. All the illustrations are a good size, and it's going at a very special price of $15 only. Okay, for this board book, this lovely board book, while stocks last. Okay.
Wow. So these are all the very special promotion just for our readers at Singapore Book Fair. You will get to enjoy up to 50% discount, right? Am I right?
Yes, wow. They will.
And I think just now Mr. Sundar have already repeated a lot of times what is the promo code, as you can see at the URL here. And also not to forget to click on the link at our comments. You can see there's a link at our comment. And we have 100 pieces of $5 book vouchers to give away. So only exclusive to the audience now who are watching our live now. So today we are very happy to have Mr. Sundar with us to share with us so many exciting stories about his book journey and also some of his favorite titles. And I hope we'll continue to see you for the next few years and maybe 10 more years Wow.
Thank you so much. Very happy to be here, and thank you to the beautiful Ngee Ann and to all our visitors over the years, over the last 10 years, and hopefully for another 10 years. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. And okay, so that's all for today with Mr. Sundar. And also for our readers, do continue to support us at our Facebook and also Singapore Book Fair. This year we have it online, and we hope to engage everyone and bring all the like-minders together and enjoy reading together. Okay, see you.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.